All right, let's jump right in. Every now and then you come across a piece of source material that isn't some dense article or a formal study, but something else entirely, something way more revealing. And today, our entire explainer is built around just one of those, a single, really fascinating online search query.
Here it is, in all its glory, typos included. What is the U.S. Hire Act Bill 2025? I need one good content for this as per SEO and news perspective. Now, at first glance, that just looks like a simple question, right? But if you look a little closer, this one sentence tells you this incredible story about how information actually gets requested, created, and consumed on the internet today. This isn't just a search, it's practically a work order.
Okay, so let's start with the most straightforward part of the query, the search for what seems to be a specific law.
This is the question, right? It's the whole point. But here's the thing. After digging through congressional records, searching news archives, there's just no evidence that a bill with this name even exists. And that's our very first clue. The real story here isn't about some bill. It's about the search itself.
So to really understand what's going on, we need to do a little dissection. We've got to break this query down into its basic parts. So first, you have the subject. It sounds really specific, it sounds official, and it's got a future date, 2025. This is the perfect kind of keyword phrase that someone might look for if they'd heard a rumor, or maybe more importantly, that a content creator might see as a golden opportunity for a top-ranking article.
Now, here's where the language takes a really sharp turn. The query stops being a question and it becomes a command with this phrase, I need one good content. This isn't just someone who's curious and looking for an answer. This sounds a lot more like a writer or a marketer who is literally expressing a need to get their hands on a piece of content about this topic.
And finally, the instructions get super specific. They're asking for the content from two different points of view, SEO and news. And this is where we find this fascinating kind of built-in conflict. Because you see, the goals of search engine optimization and the principles of journalism, well, they often don't see eye to eye.
So here's the big reveal. When you put all those pieces together, you realize this isn't a search for information that already exists. No, it's something totally different. This query is a perfect example of what we could call content demand. It's pretty simple, actually. When enough people start searching for something, it doesn't even matter if it's real or not, it creates a vacuum online. It sends up a flare to content creators saying, hey, there's an audience waiting over here. And it gives them a huge incentive to pump out an article or a video to fill that void and grab all that search traffic.
I mean, let that sink in for a second. The person who typed this isn't just a consumer of information. They're basically commissioning it. They've spotted a potential gap in the online marketplace and are putting out an order for someone, anyone, to create the very thing they claim to be searching for.
All right, so let's circle back to that built-in conflict we mentioned. What in the world does it mean to create something from both an SEO and a news perspective? And this slide just lays it out perfectly. SEO, at its core, is all about getting seen. It's about maximizing clicks, matching what users are searching for, and grabbing that #1 spot on Google. The news, on the other hand, is supposed to be about factual accuracy, about serving the public. Its goal is to report what is verifiably true, not just what's popular or what people are searching for.
So when our source asks for both, they're asking for two things that are often pulling in opposite directions. They want content that's going to get a ton of clicks and rank really high, but they also want it to have the look and feel, the credibility of a real news report. And that can be a really dangerous mix, especially when the topic itself might be completely made up.
So why did we just dedicate this whole explainer to one kind of strange search query? Well, because it pulls back the curtain on a fundamental way the modern internet works, and it affects every single one of us.
So here are the big takeaways. Every single time you search for something, you are sending a signal. That signal can literally will content into existence. And the main reason that content gets made might just be to get your click, not to give you the facts. This is exactly why being a critical, thoughtful consumer of information is more important today than it has ever been.
I think this is the perfect way to put it. In this giant, sprawling marketplace of online information, your search query isn't just a question, it really is an order ticket. You are telling the market exactly what you want, and the market, believe me, will try its very best to deliver that product, whether it's factually sound or not.
So the next time you type something into that little search bar, it's worth taking a second to ask yourself this question. Are you just a passive seeker, looking for an answer that's already out there? Or are you an active participant in a system that can create information on demand? The line between the two is a lot blurrier than you might think.